So before picking up the machine, I suggest just double checking that you've got enough paper in the machine. If you do need to load the paper into the printer, we're just going to put our hand underneath here. So we're going to grab a nice hold here, push your thumb there, we're going to slide that back. So just checking that the paper, we can have a good look here, is facing what we'll call upside down and around the wrong way. So as long as you've got that writing, your eVault 360 Stats Explained, facing up and in that direction, you should be right to print properly. So now it's time to do a body scan for a client. We have the option here of first time user or existing member. Existing member may not have actually physically scanned, but there's someone that's set up the app before arriving at the studio. If a member arrives at the studio but hasn't set up the app, make sure they do not set themselves up on the app before scanning. It takes about 30 minutes for the app to refresh in the background. So if they arrive at the studio and set that app up within 30 minutes of trying to scan, nothing will work. So essentially if they turn up and they haven't got the app, you're gonna put them through as a first time user. If they've previously scanned or they've set the app up sort of the day before or that morning, then you're gonna press existing member. The next step is just simply filling out your email address and mobile number. Put our email address and phone number in, making sure everything's fine. We need to click to accept this button, just making sure that they are not pregnant and they don't have a pacemaker. A pregnant lady will not be affected if they do the scan. It's just that the water content of a pregnant lady will affect the data that's in there. With a pacemaker, again, it's a 0.0001% chance there's going to be an issue, but for safety reasons, putting in a tiny electrical pulse through someone's body that's got a pacemaker is a risk that we don't want to take. So just making sure that they're not pregnant and don't have a pacemaker, they click to accept and then we proceed to the next step. After pressing that button, if it doesn't come straight through to the start scanning page and it's just constantly reloading and reloading, there's one of two issues. One, you don't have proper Wi-Fi, so you need to go back and check that. Or two, one of those 4 cables is not connected. If that screen's not loading, it can only be one of those 2 problems. It can only be a Wi-Fi issue or one of the cords not connected, so we need to go back and check those. So now what we're going to do is come onto the scan. We're going to have our shoes off, so stepping up, I'm just going to follow the prompts of the screen. So the first thing it's going to do is weigh the client. Sometimes it'll ask you to pre-put in the height, other times the height will already be in there. In this case we can see height's already in there, so we're going to press the double green arrow. Make sure you get the client to wait, so they're automatically going to want to pick up these calipers, but just wait for the screen to let them do that. We're going to pick the calipers up. What we want to do for the client is have as much skin as possible touching these silver pieces. So their hand's going to come underneath with their fingers touching here, their palm's going to touch there, and then we're going to press in with our thumbs there, firmly but not trying to break it. Next, we're going to make a 30-degree angle out to the sides so that our biceps aren't touching the inner part of our ribs. So we're on this angle, and we're now going to press and hold. If you can while they're scanning, don't do what I'm doing right now, but make sure the client isn't moving and preferably not talking because that's going to affect the way the pulse is going through the body. So the voice will tell you to put down the calipers, we're going to pop those down, and we're going to step off the machine. The data's going to pop up here, it's going to say printer is not connected, check the connection. This will always say that, but it doesn't mean that the printer's not working. We just need to wait about 20 seconds and then the printer will start to work. We also don't press print, so just to repeat, we do not press print on the iPad because that's going to generate a false printout. So in about 20 seconds time, without pressing anything here and without pressing the iPad, we're going to receive our nice piece of paper with the data on it. The last little piece before we go to the next person is we're going to press, once we've got our piece of paper, we're going to press next scan to get back to this screen. And on the weigh machine, we're going to press initial view. And that's going to take us back to a blank page. And now we're ready for the next scan.